Sometimes the disrespect is not only what someone says, it's when it happens. Watch what happens when a man tries to make Kiddush at his own Shabbos table, or Havdalah, or benching. He is sitting there with his family. Maybe guests are there too. The table is full, the kids are moving around, someone is still passing the salad, someone is looking for a sitter. Normal Shabbos table noise. He is not trying to make a speech. He is not trying to give a performance. He is just trying to hold a cup, say the words, and bring a little bit of kedushah into the home. And right as he begins, someone starts talking over him, or maybe even correcting him. Why are you saying it so fast? Why are you saying it so slow? Why are you saying it so quietly? You're too loud. Why did you wait so long to start? Why didn't you wait? Why are you doing it like that? And if he pauses for a moment, just to let the room settle before he loses track of the bracha, suddenly he is the problem. Not because he yelled, not because he made a scene, because he paused. Because he wanted 1 minute of quiet to reconnect himself to what he was doing. And somehow, at his own Shabbos table, making a simple bracha starts to feel like trying to hold kavana inside Grand Central Station. Then the response comes in a voice that sounds reasonable. I was literally just talking. I wasn't interrupting. I was helping. Why are you making this so intense? Everybody was fine until you made it awkward. Why are you embarrassing me in front of everyone? I'm just trying to keep the peace. And now, the family moment is not really about Kiddush anymore. It is about managing the hurt feelings of the person who interrupted it because they decided to talk about the price of milk at the supermarket that week. If this situation sounds familiar to you, pause right there. Do not turn 1 moment at the Shabbos table into a verdict of your life. 1 interruption can happen. People get distracted. Families are busy. Kids are noisy. The last stretch before Shabbos can turn normal people into air traffic controllers. That is life. But if this keeps happening in the moments where your voice, your role, your dignity should be protected, do not rush past it, because that deserves a closer look. If you are new here, I'm David. This is Silent But Standing. I created this YouTube channel for Jewish men who are trying to stay connected to Hashem, dignity, and truth while navigating relationships that can feel painful, confusing, or deeply lonely. And I want to be careful here. This is not about accusing anyone. It is not about diagnosing anyone. It is not about deciding your private situation from one scene at the Shabbos table. This is about slowing down enough to notice what keeps repeating in your life. Because if every time you step into a quiet role of dignity, the moment gets interrupted, criticized, minimized, or turned back on you, something begins to happen inside of you. You may stop asking for quiet. You may rush through the moment. You might lower your voice. You may start to dread making Kiddush. You might even tell yourself, just get it over with. Not because there is peace, because you have learned that asking for basic respect in your own home creates another problem. And this matters even more when the home speaks often about Torah values, chinuch, family, and respect. Because children are watching. They are learning whose dignity gets protected and whose dignity gets negotiated. They are learning whether Kiddush is sacred or just background noise. They are learning whether a father's voice carries Kavod or whether it can be talked over with stupidity whenever someone else feels like talking. They are learning whether Torah language is lived with dignity or only spoken out loud. Now listen carefully. If this pattern feels familiar to you, do not explode at the Shabbos table. Do not turn a single night into a courtroom scene. Do not make a speech in front of the kids. And do not use one video as a verdict about your life. But do not ignore the pattern either. After Shabbos, when you are calm, write down what keeps happening. Not pages, just a few lines. What happened? When did it happen? Who was there? What did you ask for? How did the moment turn back against you? And what changed inside of you afterward? Did you become calmer? Did you feel smaller? Did the moment bring more kavod into the home? Or did it teach everyone that holy words can be spoken while basic human dignity gets pushed aside? That is the question. From a Torah perspective, patience is a holy midah. But patience is not pretending that repeated disrespect is normal. Kavod shamayim matters. But kavod shamayim does not mean performing religion while ignoring kavod habrios. Shalom bayis matters. But shalom bayis is not built by training one person to stop asking for basic respect. So start small. Do not confront anyone from anger. Do not try to win the table. Just notice the pattern. And if it keeps repeating, please speak privately with someone grounded and wise. Maybe it's a Rav, a therapist, a mentor, someone who understands both Torah values and human dignity. Because one interruption might be a mistake. A repeated pattern deserves clarity. And kedushah in a home is not only the words that we say, it is also the dignity that we protect while saying them. You may be silent, but you are still standing.